Good. We're live.
All right, let's go ahead and kick this off then. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Piper Academy. Sorry, we had some technical difficulties that we're working through, but hopefully we are all set to go now. But this show here, we like to bring you some of the most important TA as well as market news, and we do that every day during the week, 0930 Eastern Standard Time. Unfortunately, though, the man, the myth, the legend, Piper is not with us these days, but don't you worry. I have a live feed from his vacation, and here you go. You for scuba? Got it. All right, so let's get it back over to the duo cam. I'm going to go ahead and introduce the other man we got. He is the professor of TA. He is the king of the Mexican spaghetti. He is the OC guy. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing great, great. Thank you so much for that amazing introduction, guys. So sorry for that technical difficulties that we have had. But TradeFly, let me know, how's it going? What do you have there on the recurring? I see that we have huge movements on Coinbase. What was the direction? How's it going on? What do you think is going to happen? Let me know.
Oh, I think we might be having some whale games going, but we're going to get into that. We got a news article. But first, let's go on over to the fear and greed index. Let's just go ahead and kick into this. So we're a little bit behind timeline here. You can see the total market cap is at 2.8 trillion. That is sky high, and that is up 5% over 24 hours. Got 24-hour trading volume at 142 billion. That's up 46.5% over 24 hours. Bitcoin dominance sitting at about 49.8%. In the fear and greed index, the important thing that we're looking at here is that we are in extreme greed. So some people might say that's a sell signal. Other people might say that is an indication of a bull run. But with that being said, let's get into the economic calendar. And for today, you do have durable goods orders month over month. It does look like the number came in here at 1.4%. Consensus was 1.1%. So higher is actually better in this case. What else do we have coming up this week? It is going to be the GDP growth rate. And that is actually going to be a pretty big one. If you don't know, GDP is one of those big metrics that we use to kind of see where our economy stands. So Thursday, March 28th, that is going to be a big one for the economic calendar. Let's get into the crypto bubbles. And it's all green, baby. It's all green. So that is good to see. Ondo is just killing it, 112%. This thing has been on an absolute tear. ICP, hope you were listening on Friday. We did point this one out to you. Jasmine was another one of the picks that we had a few weeks ago. Pepe's up, Floki, Ton. I mean, you name it, it's probably up. Yesterday was a great day for all of the altcoins, and it's just nice to see. So I know you crazy people are making some gains because you love those alts. All right, looking over at the liquidation heat map, one of the areas we did talk about yesterday, and you can see that target area was hit, was at about 68,000. It ripped right through it, cleared out that liquidity, and now we're starting to build some liquidity up here at about 71.7. And then just under, we actually are seeing a little bit at 69,450. So I mean, either way, it can go after these. These aren't very big moves at all, but you are seeing some liquidity build up here now at about 64.5. But yeah, I think we have pretty much free reign at this point. I wouldn't anticipate any big chases for liquidity by the market maker, but do realize a little wick up here that could be in play. So keep an eye on that one. All right, over to the liquidation heat map. Let's see who got liquidated in the past 24 hours. You had 71,073 traders liquidated, and the total liquidations came in at 201 million. And the largest single liquidation order happened on Bybit, and that was Bitcoin at a value of 1.94. So not as bad as yesterday. Somebody got hit for about 6 milli. All right, let's go on over to the duo cam here. We'll talk that out a little bit and see OC, how you feel about all these numbers, man? You feeling good? You feeling green? Making some trades? What's up, man?
Oh well. I've been entering. I've already into a couple of trades. I already have Bitcoin since a little bit. I've been just selling and buying as we keep moving forward. But I'm aiming a couple of altcoins at this moment. I am absolutely prepared because of the last previous dump. I'm absolutely prepared for the upcoming movement. I believe that the upcoming movement, and let me bring it up here. Perfect. It's going to be a little retracement, and then it may be a continuation to the upside. We need to look forward because right now our prime score it's neutral, so it's around 6, and then also we are above the zero line on the oscillator, which means that we do have the momentum, but we are retracing, and not only that, we are at the bottom of a channel. So there's two ways to go here. I do see that we're making it kind of like a little bit of a pennant, a bullish pennant. If we can hold that position, I believe for at the end of the weekend, we could be seeing a break back into the I don't know 74K area, and that will confirm the further movement to the upside. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
Right on, man. That would be awesome. Let's go ahead and give a little shill out. Decrypted tax here. You got that one. If you guys are doing your taxes, it's about that time. So go ahead and hit my man up. He's going to help you out with your taxes. We do have a link for that in the description, as well as legendary aviation coffee. If you're not drinking this, you ain't doing it right. And then let's get into the chat here. Let's see who we got. You know what? Special shout out to everyone in the chat right now. You guys work through all the technical difficulties with us. Much appreciated. So hey, Arson246, hello, how you doing, my bro? We got Jay in here. He's always in here. My man, Mike Play, C90 for the win. Alexander G, the best of the best when it comes to the moderators. Blackie Chan, my man, how you doing? Let's see who else we got. That's it in the chat besides our usual suspects, Crux, OC, and Zach, all holding it down. So let's get into some of the news now. And looking at this, the SEC is seeking $1.95 billion against Ripple Labs in an XRP lawsuit. I feel like the SEC is just hitting its head against the wall here. I mean, they're going after the XRP again. Now, I think it's kind of silly. We'll see how it plays out. I think the important thing here is if you're wondering why XRP price might be suppressed, this is probably the reason. But remember, XRP still is kind of in a bullish trend. All right, I drew you guys a trend line, showed you that's still on its way up. Until it breaks that trend line, I'm not overly concerned. We are looking for a response, though, from the SEC by April 22nd. So put that on your calendars if you guys are invested in XRP. The outcome of that case could have an effect on price action for XRP. So what else do we have here? Notable crypto analyst is eyeing huge gains for Bitcoin price. Well, let's see, Mr. Analyst, where do you think we are going to go? And the number is 100K. So looking at that, it is setting a bullish structure. You can see here, higher highs, lower or higher lows. Yeah, I agree with that. And, you know, I like the Simple Mints TA. So I would agree that, yeah, until we start setting a series of higher lows, then our correction, lower highs, then the trend is your friend. Go ahead, follow it up and right. But, you know, personally here, I'm going to take kind of a step back. We're getting too close to the all-time highs. I'll wait till it breaks, look for a little retest that OC always teaches you guys, and then maybe I'll get back in. That's kind of my game. That's how I like to play it. All right, now, this is the one we can talk about. The whales move $1.5 trillion. Am I saying that right? And that is incorrect. That is 1.5 billion. Sorry, that would be a hell of a whale, wouldn't it? All right, 1.5 billion to Coinbase as Bitcoin reclaims 70K. Dump incoming. Now, it's up to you to kind of figure out what you think they're doing with these funds. Are they reallocating it? Maybe kind of rolling some of that Bitcoin, Ethereum profits into, say, some altcoins. That's a lot of money, but they also moved in USDC. So USDC is typically when you see those move on the exchange, you're expecting a purchase. That might not be the case this time because they've moved everything onto the exchange. That's interesting for me. If I were to look at that and see that somebody moved their entire portfolio onto the exchange, I would probably think that they might be rolling it into something else altogether or cashing out. That's just a personal take on that one. But let's go over to the duo cam and see OC. What do you think about that?
Well, absolutely. Usually, when we see those kind of movements, they're usually for buyings. When we see crypto going into the brokers, it's because they want to sell it, right? When we see USDT or stablecoins going to the exchanges, that's because they want to sell it. You got a point there that they're moving the whole portfolio, but also we need to think maybe the other side of the coin, which is that this wallet might have not only one wallet, right? It could be having two or three wallets. The certainty is that we don't know exactly unless until it decides what to do, right? So I believe that the best case scenario it is diversifying. It's always the best case scenario. Diversify on what you believe, diversify in what you like. I usually go with at least two different stable coins, and that is because I've seen Luna. I mean, I've seen also huge exchanges being falling, and also right now we have seen not because it kind of like a broke, but because they decided to close it out, which was the BN what is it US the
Talk about the
BUSD,
other
yeah,
stablecoin. Okay.
Binance. Yeah, the Binance stablecoin. They just kind of like
Yeah.
not giving it back support. So yeah, I mean at this point we need to be careful, and also we need to be prepared for whatever might be coming. So for me, and this is not financial advice, I do have at least two different stablecoins on my portfolio.
Yeah, right on. So I think the other thing that I started thinking about, and we had this discussion a long time ago when Coinbase was now made the custodian for BlackRock, and they were going to hold some of the Bitcoin for these ETFs, right? At that point, I was like, Coinbase might become the new Binance. Now, one thing that could be happening is that people could be shifting funds from other exchanges. So they could have put it on a wallet, and then they may have felt comfortable with putting it on Coinbase, knowing that they're going to be probably the most stable platform, probably for the near future at minimum. So that could be something. And then, yeah, they could just be, diversifying, moving things around. That could be in play. Who knows? But yeah, something to really think about there. That's a lot of money sitting there on the exchange ready to play. So, all right, we're coming up on 7 o'clock. We rolled through our news pretty quick, had to play a little bit of catch up, but I think we're going to get into some TA now. Hey, OC, man, I'm going to put the pressure on you here. That's the benefits of being the mouth that runs the show right now. So I'm going to put it on you. And I'll let you bring up dealer's choice here. Whatever you got up, man. You got Bitcoin, I would assume. And then maybe we'll do a little duo
Yes.
on that. All right, cool.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at what I got here. So yesterday, we had someone requesting an explanation on how the trend signals work. Right. Let me just hide a little bit of this one, and we'll see that we have a strong signal here. Well, the strong signal played out, right? But as I always said, it's not entering on the signal; it's entering on the retest, right? And then off we go. So we did had a very nice momentum going on that one. We have a double bottom, and then moving upwards there. And then there was a very interesting question: why is it having changed? And then I needed to go into a trend analysis, right? So basically, I started asking, or kind of like doing the analysis. Well, the most important part is usually the trend. What tools do we have to understand the trend? And those are trend lines and trend channels, right? So a trend, it is effectively starting calling that the trend have changed or is switching when we start breaking those parameters, right? So this was my analysis. We have a little bit of a trending here. We have a projection of trend, and then we can see that we broke the trend, right? And we're making at least this new series of higher highs and higher lows, right? Usually on a trend confirmation or a back trend confirmation, we look for at least 2 or 3 points of confirmation for the movement to the upside and redraw a new uptrend line. So far, we are at the bottom of the channel. We could be looking at retracement, and especially because let me see if I can pull it up in here very fast. There we go. And you guys might already be a little bit sick of this chart, but bear with me and let me just not kill your eyes. There you go. And this is what I'm looking forward to. So here it is, the Wyckoff pattern of Wyckoff range, right? So going down, little range, V-shaped recovery, and then we take a look at what was the previous low, the previous range, and we look for the breakout or the two springs, right? Look at this, the spring up here usually goes with a PS right down here with a little range. So if we go to to Bitcoin, we'll see that we're going down and we have a range, a V-shaped recovery, and that gives us 70% of ranging. We were ranging until we decided to break above. Look at that, at the same area of the range and at the bottom of the channel. So that's why you see me here speculating for a possible retracement, right? And look at what's happening right down here. We have an overbought, a golden box, and a retracement. So again, I'm only going to be throwing here a couple of support and resistances, and look at where those support and resistances at. That's what I'm looking forward for a possible retracement at the 78 800K, right? So 76,847 dollars. So if we do a little ranging here, that is also considered retracement, right? So at that point, I'll be looking for a breakout back into the channel, and the next run up will be somewhere around the 84K. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing on Bitcoin. Also, just so you can see, I was expecting the same thing. This was our previous analysis here on the Piper Academy. That we'll keep looking for that retracement on this area right down here. So yeah, that's what I got for you guys. That's what I got. TradeFly, what are you looking at?
All right, man. Yeah, so I got Bitcoin up on the daily. You know me, I like to zoom out a little bit. You get OC, guys. This man is breaking it down for you to the nitty gritty. He's got that engineer thing going. But for me, I'm a simple man. So check it out. Trend is your friend. It's still going up and right. This right here was actually a healthy pullback. It was only about 15-16%, no big deal, off the all-time high. Here's what I don't like about this setup. And this is only short term, so don't get too freaked out by it. But we're pushing up pretty quick and we're pushing back up to the all-time high area. But what I'm looking at right now is this trending down of the prime oscillator, right? So what you're going to see here is it's going to be, really a sign of weakness in my eyes. And then right here, this blue dot, the peak seeker, has been absolutely fire. So if you guys don't have Chart Prime, go check that out as well, because this thing is amazing. But it's pushing back up, right? It's pushing back up. And what I don't want to see is this. If I start seeing this come up and then start bending back over, one of the things that I always look for is that trend down and right of the RSI or the prime oscillator. And then that kind of shows me that we're pushing up, yes, but we're pushing up and we have a little bit of weakness going into it. So just be on alert for that. Be careful once we get up to the all-time high. Again, I'm really big personally on like having my lines in the sand. I'll make my trade, I get in, I get out, and I've kind of talked to that a few times, and I'll show you what I mean. Oh, stop drawing lines here. But I'll show you what I mean. So, I stick to the strategy that I have, right? So I like to see multiple touch points in an area. Now, when I say that, like we had the 100 SMA, right? And it acted as resistance, came down. We got this bounce here. That was a really nice bounce off of the 200 SMA. This is the 4 hour, by the way. And then we came back up to the 100. So we got confirmation for me. We got multiple touches in an area, the same resistance area, came back down, and I was like, ooh, sweet. I see the 200 SMA. I see the 0.5 on the fib. I was like, I'm going to take a chance here. So I took a chance on entering into a trade right here where I saw a little bit of confluence, took it up. This is my out though. So for me, my strategy, I take that. That's about a 7% move. Not so bad, right? And I think I actually used 2x leverage, so it was actually about a 15% move for me. So came up, and then I saw it. It got a little bit of a rejection there. I was like, cool, I'm out. Unfortunately, I did miss much of the pump going up here, and that actually looks like it wants. I bet if you're looking at this on the hourly, it probably looks like a bull flag. But that's just kind of my strategy. I get in, I make that trade here, and then I'm out, and then I wait for the next setup. So personally, that's just kind of how I like to attack it, and like to teach you guys. That's kind of why I do this. All right, so that's what I'm seeing on Bitcoin. I'm going to pass it back over to OC. We do have a couple of requests in the chat, so I'll let you go with the next thing. And then it looks like somebody requested, I want to say it was BIP or BIF, BIF. So I'll go ahead and pull that up in the background while you go through your next coin here.
Perfect, absolutely. So let's take a look at NOS. Why NOS been playing very, very nicely. We did had this pattern going on. Remember that I was looking for this pennant or this triangular shape, more than a pennant, right? And then the breakout. So we have again the same triangular shape, and then a breakout. We have the same triangular shape, and then as you can see, the breakout, right? So far, this breakout went all the way to this soft order block. Remember that I told you that I was taking some profits all the way up here, and then I was looking for a little range. It seems, oh, come on, lock your feet, guys. So, or at
Oh,
least
Mark's
you
gonna get
stop.
you. He's in the chat too. He's gonna
Oh,
get you.
yeah. Yeah, it did. It did. You Americans. Said, oh, good thing I'm an American. All right, moving forward. But I mean, we're all in the same bucket here. All right, let's take a look at. We have a retracement all the way down here to the dynamic reactor. I'm looking at this at the soft areas, which is my entry point. If I get here, I might be getting out. So what I'm gonna be doing, just let myself get stopped out on profits. Why? Because at this point, my stop is an entry, right? So I'm just gonna leave it run. I already have taken 50% out. And what I'm going to be expecting is going to be this flip of the ribbon. Look at that. I am expecting that flip of the ribbon at the convergence of those two clouds. All right. So let me just redraw this to make it more appealable. So it happened a little bit earlier as we were, as per I was expecting. We can see it going like this. So this is what I'm expecting for the best case scenario. When I see FOR flip of the ribbon at support, I will be more than happy to re-enter and reopen a new position. So far, if I am gonna be again, I'm gonna be leaving this open trade just to let me stopped out. Why? Because I'm gonna be stopped out at zero, so at positive, right? And I already have taken some of my profits here. If the oscillator, if the ribbon breaks down, remember, I'm going to be looking at this next area for possible entry as we have flip of the ribbon. That's why, exactly, that is why I'm going to be waiting for this ribbon to flip up here or to flip down here at support or at support before I commit entering into a next trade if I get stopped out, which most likely I'm going to get. Again, this stopped out is going to be on positive, so I already have made some profits. So there we go with that one. Yeah, look at the NOS. Also, we have HNT, H bar, ICP, and Manta. All right, so but I'll take maybe an HNT after you TradeFly that you bring up. What are you looking forward?
I'm looking at a BIF. Apparently, it's bonk with hat. So it looks to be a little play off dog
Perfect.
with hat. So first thing I did, I was like, hey, let me go over to CoinScan and just take a look see at some of the background of the token itself. So immediately, first thing that comes up is this token has low amount of liquidity. Make sure this is not a scam token. So, you know, be very, very careful. Not saying it's a scam token or anything of that nature, but it's low cap, right? So there can be a lot of volatile movement, and I think a lot of it's going to be based off dog with hat. It's probably going to follow that a little bit. I'll tell you what I don't like when I'm looking at the charts here is that everything seemed to be moving up, and this is still kind of trending down. This is the 4 hour chart. You would have expected to see a little bit of some movement. Let's see here. So if we're going back to yesterday, you would have liked to see a little bit more movement up and right. However, it's quickly got rejected off the dynamic reactor and come right back down to where it started. That doesn't really fall in line with a lot of the other tokens that have moved probably 20 to 30%. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to look at dog with hat and I want to see what it's done. Or actually, it's bonk with hat, right? It's bonk with hat. So it's probably a play off of bonk. So let's look at bonk real quick. All right, cool. So yeah, you can see a little bit more of a cleaner run up and right, right? That's kind of what you want to see. That's more of a good sign. But then you come here, it looks like it's spiked a little bit, but it's come right back down. So that's what happens when you get into low cap. Immediately, somebody could see this spike up. Like they could have bought here, they see the spike up, and then they sell, and then right back down. That's the game you play when you have low cap coins. So got to be careful here. However, looking at this, right? Like just from a zoomed out perspective, if you're getting into a token, there's obviously an area of support right about here. I take it for what it is. It probably doesn't mean a whole bunch, but right in that area is an area of support. So you're going to hope that holds up. I mean, it really can't go much lower, to be honest with you, but like little moves here and low cap can be substantial in terms of, price of what you have invested. So just be careful with this. I can't give you much in terms of where I think it's going to go, to be honest. This dynamic reactor is obviously your area of resistance. Like that's clear as day. So it could go as high as 0.029, 0.003 ish in that area. But, just be careful. I don't know if you're day trading, if you're intra trading. I'll have to look at the chat here. But again, I guess my big theme for this one is just be very careful. There is an area of support. So could be a potential area for entry. It sounds like you invested in it yesterday. So I'm guessing you got in somewhere in this area. So you might be all right, but if it gets under this, I mean, I don't know if you don't have a bunch of money in it, then it's probably not that big deal. If you just do a little zinger of $100, then it is what it is, right? But yeah, just be careful with this one. It's about what I got.
Absolutely. I mean, jumping into that kind of new tokens, especially those meme tokens, they tend to be very, very difficult. Guys, do not get wrecked.
Yeah.
Do not get wrecked. Remember, the key of winning, it's not losing.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
not
rule
losing
number
is,
one, man.
yeah.
Rule number one, protect your money. But if you're just taking a
There
zinger,
you
if you're
go.
like, hey, I'm a gambling man and I want to throw a couple $100 at, a crazy meme token that's based off of something else that's being BONK, which is doing very well, or Dog with Hat, or combination of the two of them, I guess. But whatever the case may be, just be careful and make sure when you're investing in low caps that money is truly money that you can afford to lose. I know a lot of people say that with crypto in general. It's not always the case. I understand that people are genuinely investing in Bitcoin. They're actually putting their savings in Bitcoin. No one wants to lose their freaking savings. Let's be honest here. But they're putting their savings in it because that's where they think they're going to get the best returns. So let's be honest with ourselves. But when it comes to low caps, those are the ones that we really, truly, truly mean it. Do not put anything more than you are willing to use, because you're essentially going to the casino and you're saying, hey, baby, let's get a 7 and hope for the best. All right. So cool. Back on over to OC guy. What else you got for us, man?
Perfect. I do see Maroyo in the chat. Welcome, buddy. Long time no see. By the way, guys, this guy Maroyo, it's a great dude. Not only that, he has a great and amazing project going on in the back end. If you guys have the chance, go check it out. I believe that he's doing an amazing job there. But yeah, let's go to HNT. So on HNT, so it's something important. Why? Because I do have a bias. I do hold HNT, but let's try to just take that veiled of my eyes, right? And let's acknowledge that this is going to be, at this point, either a narrative driven, which I don't believe that's going to be going or through that path, but more likely a fundamental driven token. Why? Because it has software and hardware behind it, right? So as long as they keep pushing that hardware and software, we could be seeing a recuperation, but so far they're going very quiet, and that could be a very much of an issue. So let me start looking at that. We are pretty bearish based on our prime score, but also that we are forming an uprising trend line here. We already have 3 touches or 4 touches, but let's also look at something important, that we also are keep making lower highs, right? So this is not looking that good, because we could be having a breakout to the downside. Not everything is it's lost, and by the way, I believe that we are more towards the bullish side than the bearish side, and that is because I also can see once again this pattern. So let me show you. We have this little range. We have the V-shaped recovery, the high not higher than the previous range, and that gives us that 70% chances of making that range. So that is the range area, and the only thing that I'll be looking for is going to be this overextension range and this overextended range to the downside and to the upside, right? So For me, it's going to be either here and here with the dynamic reactor and with this resistance. So we kind of can have figured it out. So now it's time to start looking forward for possible entries. At my point of view, we are very, very close for a possible entry. This is going to be a high risk entry because so far on the 4 hours, we are bearish. We are bearish, and the trend should be your friend until the end. And right now, we're bearish, but I could be looking at a possible long scenario because we are going at the bottom of that range. All right. So I'm going to be looking forward for the FOR at the 0 line, a decrease on my prime score, and also a decrease or a breakout of my consolidation score. So my point of entries will be somewhere between 649 and also 627. How I'm gonna be determined? So first of all, I'm gonna set a center or kind of like a center-ish alert right there. Just tilt to the upside. Like this would be the center, so I'm gonna push it to the upside on this little downward channel, and also looking forward for the flip of the ribbon at the 0 line. So that's gonna be my alert system. If I don't get here and keep moving upwards, well then that's gonna be fabulous. I'm not gonna be trading it. Especially because I have it on Bybit and also on my cold wallet. So unless I see something very interesting, I'll be moving my cold wallet to Bybit and then executing the trade. But so far, I'm holding it, and I will be looking areas to maybe buy a little bit more when I see strong reversals in the chart. Let's go just to wrap it up on daily and see if we're close to that big reversal. And let me throw in here, there we go, a couple of order blocks. As you can see, we have a loud order block all the way down here. And I already have looked forward these two areas. Why? Because they're in between the louder block and the higher block. So my entry point or my most desirable area will be somewhere around here or even in between those two zones. So far, if we remember, it's not about the breakout, it's about the retest. If we break down, this is gonna be my next big area of support and where I'm gonna be jumping in for big-ish entries right there at 576. So that's what I got on HNT. Let me also read the chat in here. So throwing it back to you, TradeFly, what do you got? And also I'll be looking for the next coin to grab.
Yeah, man, I see a YFI in the chat, so maybe you can take a look at that one. For Dogecoin, I got that up on the daily. Let's go ahead and take a look, see at this. This is why we love TA, and this is why I love the fib retracement. All right, check it out. Came down the golden pocket. You hear me talk about this all the time. I love this area. Once it gets into 618, this 0.65 psychological area, as well as it uses kind of a math equation on how we kind of get our pullbacks and then where we can find support, right? So we found support here in the golden pocket. That's where we got our bounce. We got a move of about 40%. That's not so bad. I think the Dogecoin millionaire is actually a millionaire again if it's at 18 cents. So good for him. I felt bad for that guy when it was sitting down here. He lost millions. He's still down though. Well, not down net, but down from where he was. That man was up like 2-3 million. They told him to get out. He held strong, man. He's got conviction. You want to talk about a guy that's got conviction and put everything into it? That's your dude. Let's go back left on the charts and kind of see where I got this pink line. And that is really just looking at where did I get some pretty harsh wicks, right? And I'm looking at support, I'm looking at resistance, I'm looking at a breakdown. So high side, if Doge does continue to go up, well, first stop here, it's really going to be in a range, okay? So anywhere between 20, 21, right? If we do push up to 21, that's setting a higher high, which means continuing the bullish trend for me. But overall, this trend is bullish. That was a nice pullback to the golden pocket. And then we got that movement up and right. So right now, bullish trend, we're sitting on top of most of the moving averages, actually all of the moving averages. And dynamic reactor is way down here, still green, pulling up and right. So Doge is looking pretty bullish overall. However, looking at the prime oscillator, not the ideal situation, but it's a little bit higher, right? So you know when I was talking before and I was like, hey, if we see this kind of bend down and back up, well, right here, look at how much higher it is on the chart. We could actually see if it gets back up, if we get that nice climb up and right to the 20 cent region, you might see this get into the overbought area again. And that to me indicates something that is in a bullish trend, usually you'll kind of keep seeing it hit that overbought range over and over again. So looking good on Dogecoin. Again, high side targets anywhere from 20 to 21 cents. If it does pull back, then taking a look at that, you do see some resistance where we're at time now. But if it does pull back, you can expect that it's going to interact with the moving average here. That's your 20 SMA on the daily, as well as the 0.382, which is about 16 cents. And that kind of lines up looking at these wicks here. So you see a little bit of resistance, a little bit of support. So I could see this area at about 16 cents for a pullback before we see continuation. So you could see something like that. And then up, again, always keep your eye on the 0.5 and the 618. But that's going to be your first stop for support. Your second stop would be 0.5618. But this is kind of what I'm anticipating more so. As long as the market continues to either consolidate or continue its up and right movement, that's what I would look for Dogecoin. If the market pulls back, these are the numbers you start looking at. All right, that's what I got for Doge. I'm going to pass it back over to OC. Rapid fire. Let's go.
Perfect. We have 10 minutes left, and also we have a lineup HBAR, ICP, and Menta. Although I also watch request on Wax, so I went on looking at it, and look at that. It looks impressive, right? The only thing that I'm not liking at this point is these huge absorption zones. Look at what have happened once we have those in both ways, to the upside and to the downside. So we have a couple of reversals, but let's zoom out a little bit and see what's going on, right? Because when I start zooming out, well, it doesn't look that impressive in here on the daily, right? I'm not saying that this is not worth it. I'm just saying that it's not looking as impressive, and we could be having a very good asset within the hands if it plays out the correct way, right? Or the bullish way. So the next area of big support, I'll be looking for this area right here. I believe it is a possibility that we get there. I'm not saying that right now, especially not right now, since everything is going for Bitcoin. And then the next area of resistance is going to be right here, very close where we are at, right? So once again, we can see that Peak Seeker playing it out very nicely on telling us that we're going down. We went to the dynamic reactor. There we go. We had a flip of the ribbon, a fake out flip of the ribbon, and then we bounce up. Let's go to the 4 hours so we can see it closer. There we go. Let's go up here, and also let me zoom out as much as I can on the 4 hours so we can feed the next possible movement. There we go. This is it. All right, so let me get started with adding some support and resistances. We already have broken most of those support and resistances. So what I'm going to be doing is going for predictive ranges and VPVR. So there we go. I have the VPVR and my predictive ranges. Let me zoom in so we can see it much better. Here we go. And the next area of support or resistance is going to be between my golden lines of predictive ranges. That usually kind of like it goes in pair with what I've been looking at, which is big wick up, big wick down, big wick up, big wick down. So I believe that we could be going for this kind of movement around here. So we just need to wait a little bit more to see what is going to be happening, because we are at the top of the oscillator. Yes, we're bullish. We have a unicorn, so we are strongly moving within the previous trend, which is a strong uptrend. And then, but we need to wait for that maybe flip of the ribbon to the upside to get back at some support areas, which I'm looking at this area, and then also looking maybe at these two zero areas, because we kind of like had the same outcomes of buying and sales. So this is going to be my next channel of support as I see flip of the ribbon. So again, I'll be waiting better to enter, in this case, in a late entry than jumping in and then having a possible liquidation like this. So be careful with WAXP because it is not so stable. But yeah, I mean, a run up to that area would signify, let's just see it. I mean, it's just amazing. It will signify from where we are right now, 130% run up, no leverage. If we break this area right here at 0.139. So yeah, that's what I got. Turning it back to you, TradeFly.
All right, I got to keep this one pretty quick. We are coming up against our time very, very fast. Now, YFI, not all that familiar with the project itself, but looking at this, I was interested just because I haven't seen it requested before. Let's pull it up, take a look-see. Right here, it looks like we're in the middle of a range, all right? It's very clear range here. You have a high side at 11,382. bottom side here, support at about 5K there, so about 5,000 or so. So right there in the middle of the range right now. So this is very clear though. I mean, you see that wick off of it. You see resistance here. It did pop through that, but that is just a crazy moonshot. I kind of just kicked that one out of my analysis. Then you see again a wick off of this area. So very consistent seeing rejections off of this area. So let's go ahead and look at it on the 4 hours since we are in the middle of the range. See what we can really take away from this. But on the daily, good news is you have a support area you can see right here, and you're also on top of the 200 SMA as well as the 100 and the 50. So you're on top of most of your moving averages right now. Let's look at the 4 hour, see if we can get a little bit closer of a look at it. And yeah, it looks like you're fighting right now. You're on top of the dynamic reactor. That's a good sign. You're also on top of the 200 SMA. So if it breaks down, if it loses the 0.5 as well as the 200 SMA, we could very well come back, test this golden pocket as well as this previous support. So for me, if this is something you're trying to get into, this would be an area that I would look for at about 82, 8,300 or so. That would probably be a nice area to look to add to the bags. Your high side target, initially, you're obviously going to fight with all of this area right here. You got a lot of resistance at about 10 to 11,000, and then your high side target is going to be about 11,200, 11,300. But overall, trend is pretty bullish. You are getting overbought indications on the 4 hours, so you might get a little bit of a pullback. Could have an opportunity here to get back into this one, but this was your area to actually get in, I think, initially for the run up here. But we're at 729, so let's go over to the duo cam, start closing this one out. And I want to say thank you to everyone who did stay with us, stay tuned in. There's still 31 of you guys.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's my alumni. Let's get it. But thank you guys for really coming back, sticking with us, and pressing through the technical issues that we had. That's truly appreciated, and that just shows you our alumni and our members. You guys are awesome. So again, I appreciate it. OC, over to you. Let's hear what you got to close this one out, and then we'll send everybody on their way for the day.
Absolutely. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today, especially with the technical difficulties. There's 31 of us, and make sure to click that like button, because if you do, my tinfoil hat will work the next time, and we won't have that drop off the stream. So thank you guys so much for joining, and let's go also rate another server and turn it back to you, TradeFly.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and close this one out. Hey, again, super appreciative of everyone for tuning in today. And yeah, go ahead, click that like and subscribe. That'll really help. We are doing all of this really for free. We're trying to give you guys as much knowledge as we can, as quick as we can. And yeah, we just love doing this. So again, we truly appreciate it. And you guys have a wonderful day. And with that being said, don't forget, use a stop loss.
Don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. TradeFly, get the soul train ready. What a line from OCI, form a Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to reject dime. And if you like the visual powered by Car Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have, step fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall low. Sound off
To get rhythm, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra. Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
That was awesome, dude!